news for South Mississippi. WLOX News at 10.
Law enforcement officers in Hancock County are determined to lead the DHS investigation. Plus, a routine prescribed burn turns into tragedy when a helicopter carrying 3 people crashes near the Harrison and Stone County line. Good evening and welcome to WLOX News at 10 o'clock. I'm Christina Garcia. That fatal crash happened in the DeSoto National Forest. 3 people were aboard the chopper, 2 were killed, and the 3rd is in critical condition following the incident. We've learned that one of those who died worked for the U.S. Forest Service. Steve Phillips has been covering the story throughout the day. He joins us live with the very latest. Steve?
Christina, this was to be a typical prescribed burn. In fact, late this morning, the U.S. Forest Service crew was standing just a few feet away from where I'm standing now. They received their briefing late this morning. Little did they know then their routine day would soon take a tragic turn. The burn crew from the U.S. Forest Service gathered first for a safety briefing.
Safety, 911 first. I know we've covered it before, but 911, something happens.
Those words would take on new meaning just hours later. But the day began with the mission at hand, burning off 800 acres of brush, primarily wildfire fuel reduction. The ground crew stayed busy and safe this day. But early afternoon, with the smoke still rising, tragedy strikes.
And the helicopter did go down. We do have 2 confirmed fatalities, according to Mr. Hargrove.
2 dead, 1 critically injured. A medical helicopter arrives. AMR transports the badly injured victim from the crash site, then on to the life flight chopper. Emergency crews arrive from multiple agencies. Along with the crash itself, there is the still burning forest that's a concern.
They still had fires going at the time that the crash happened, so we had to make sure those were controlled in addition to dealing with the crash site itself.
As night falls, a procession of emergency vehicles as the bodies of the 2 victims are escorted from the woods. First Light will bring investigators.
National Transportation Safety Board and the FAA will be here, from my understanding, in the morning, first thing in the morning, with investigators to start their process.
Witnesses on the ground told us they thought they heard something go wrong with that helicopter as the aircraft was assisting with the prescribed burn. Michelle Lady is back in the studio with their story.
Talked to some of those who live in those houses. Surprisingly, they told me they never heard a loud noise Monday afternoon or even knew a helicopter had crashed. But they did say there was one thing they thought was kind of odd.
The motor just didn't sound right.
Howard Kaufman is a mechanic, and he says the sound of the helicopter made him think something wasn't quite right Monday afternoon.
It was spitting and sputting. And we didn't hear any crashes or anything. It was just smoke.
Ernest Richardson Jr. also noticed the noise from the chopper monitoring the controlled burn.
The way it was kind of sputtering and dropping a little bit, and the way it was going, like I said, I've worked offshore a little bit, and I've been on enough helicopters to know how they make their landings.
Richardson thought the helicopter made an emergency landing. No one expected the actual tragedy that had just unfolded, killing 2 people.
I never heard an explosion or a crash. I never knew that it went down like it went down, or I'd have probably run on out there as soon as I could have.
Minutes after the silence of the helicopter motor, there were other frightening signals that led neighbors to wonder if something had gone terribly wrong.
There was a lot of smoke.
Yeah, there was
a
lot of smoke over here.
And then 10 minutes later, we heard like the cars and the ambulance and all the firefighters.
First, we saw a couple of fire trucks coming up and down the road, and you can hear the sirens.
Can't say it was from a crash, but you could smell the plastic. Maybe it was the fiberglass of the aircraft.
Names of the 2 people who died are not being released tonight. We hope to know more about the victims tomorrow and what may have caused the chopper to go down. Investigators from several agencies are supposed to be at the crash site in the morning. Make sure to tune into WLOX News and WLOX.com throughout the day for all the latest on this tragedy.